Right now, your roof is making you pay twice. Once to absorb the heat, once to remove it, and the worst part is, the solution has been sitting at your hardware store for $7 the entire time. A bag of white powder, the same compound that a community with no air conditioners, no ductwork, and no monthly utility bill for cooling has been using for over 200 years. Before this video ends, I'm going to show you exactly how to apply it, exactly what it does to your attic temperature, and exactly why nobody in the construction industry ever told you it existed. But first, I need you to understand the size of what is being done to you. Because once you see the numbers, the product, and the people profiting from your ignorance, the $7 fix is going to hit completely different. Stay with me. The average American family spends $720 every summer just on cooling. Not the furnace, not the water heater, not the lights, just the fight against heat coming through the roof. And that fight, according to the Department of Energy, is one you were set up to lose from the day your house was built. Here is why. 93% of the heat entering your home through the roof does not arrive as hot air seeping through cracks. It arrives as radiant energy, invisible infrared radiation beaming down from the sun, absorbed by your dark shingles and pushed straight down into your attic. On a summer afternoon in most of this country, a dark asphalt roof surface reaches between 150 and 165 degrees Fahrenheit. The attic beneath it hits 140 or higher. That superheated air mass sits directly above your living space and presses down through your ceiling hour after hour. Your air conditioner was never designed to win that fight. It was designed to keep running, and that is exactly what it does, while your meter spins and your bill climbs every July. A new central air system costs between $5,000 and $15,000 to install, then $150 or more every single month to run. Over 10 years, you are looking at $25,000 to $30,000 just to push out heat that your own roof is pulling in. Now hold that number, because I need to tell you about a Saturday morning that changed everything for me. Holmes County, Ohio, middle of August, 93 degrees outside, no cloud cover. I walked into a farmhouse and stopped moving. It was cool inside, not air-conditioned cool, something steadier than that. Something that felt like the building itself had a temperature separate from the outdoor air. I stood there for 20 minutes looking for a thermostat. I checked every wall, every hallway. There was not one. No hum, no compressor cycling on somewhere in the basement, no vents, just a cool, quiet house in the middle of summer. That is an Amish home. And what I found when I started pulling the threads behind how it worked has not stopped surprising me since. The Amish approach to heat is not one trick. It is a complete philosophy built over generations. The house itself is the system, not the appliance inside it. Their roofs are not dark. They use metal, slate, and light-colored surfaces chosen specifically to reflect sunlight rather than absorb it. Wide overhanging eaves throw shade across exterior walls during peak sun hours. Interior ceilings are high, not for style but because hot air rises, and a tall ceiling keeps that heat far above where people actually live. Walls are thick stone or heavy timber that absorb heat slowly during the day and release it gradually through the cooler night. Engineers call this thermal mass. The Amish just call it building properly. Large windows on opposite walls create cross-ventilation, a steady breeze moving through the house with no fan, no motor, no electricity. And then there is the summer kitchen, a separate structure physically detached from the main house built specifically for cooking during hot months. All the heat-producing work of daily life happens in a building that is not connected to where the family sleeps. The cooking heat never enters the main house. One man who lived near an Amish community described a conversation with his neighbor. The neighbor told him simply, "We do not fight the heat, we just do not invite it inside." But of all the Amish building practices, one stands above the rest for how immediately any homeowner can apply it. Hydrated lime is a white mineral powder produced when limestone is heated and water is added. It has been used as a building coating for longer than recorded history can fully trace. The ancient Egyptians applied it. Persian builders combined white-coated rooftops with passive ventilation towers to create cooling systems so effective, Napoleon surveyors made detailed technical drawings of them. In the American Southwest, indigenous women applied fresh lime and adobe coatings to rooftops every spring as a regular part of home maintenance, because they understood that renewing the reflective surface was part of keeping the house livable through summer. In 1973, researchers at Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory ran a formal test. 2 identical flat roofs, side by side, one dark, one coated with powdered limestone mixed with water, functionally identical to traditional lime wash. The coated roof dropped 40 degrees Fahrenheit at the surface. The interior temperature beneath it fell 8 degrees. No electricity, no moving parts, just a white surface and physics. The researchers were not discovering something new. They were confirming something very old. So, here's the question that kept me up for weeks after Holmes County. If this was formally proven by a national laboratory in 1973, on top of thousands of years of documented use, why are American roofs still dark? There is an organization called the Asphalt Roofing Manufacturers Association. Their members make the dark shingles on your roof right now. In state after state, this organization has actively opposed legislation that would require or even encourage reflective roofing. This is not a theory. This is public record. In Tennessee in early 2025, lobbying connected to the roofing industry successfully convinced state legislators to strip a reflective roofing requirement from a commercial building energy code update. Critics called it dangerous. They said the decision would lead to higher energy costs and more heat-related deaths. Tennessee now has weaker roof standards than it did the year before because someone who sells dark shingles asked a politician for a favor. The rubber membrane industry funded studies designed to cast doubt. One claim was that white roof coatings caused mold and condensation. Target Corporation tested white coatings on more than 24 stores across multiple climates. The mold problem never appeared. It was a talking point built to create hesitation, not a fact supported by field evidence. Now hold this alongside a simple economic reality. The global HVAC market generates $130 billion every year. Hydrated lime costs $7. That is not a conspiracy, that is just business. But understanding whose revenue depends on your roof staying hot is useful information when you are deciding whose advice to follow. A 2024 study calculated that reflective roofing could have saved more than 240 lives during London's 2018 heat emergency. Now, if you own a house and you are thinking this only applies to new construction, this next part is specifically for you. You do not need to tear off your roof. You do not need a contractor. Go to any hardware store and buy a 50-pound bag of Type S hydrated lime. Cost $7 to $14. At home, mix 1 part lime powder with 2 parts water. The consistency of thin milk, not paste. Stir until smooth and uniform. Take a thick nap paint roller or a wide masonry brush to your roof. Apply the first coat evenly across the entire surface. Let it cure for a full day in the sun. Come back the next morning and apply the second coat. For a 1,200 square foot roof, your total material cost is between $14 and $28. A homeowner in Texas documented this process. Before treatment, his attic measured 143 degrees. After 2 coats, the same measurement read 97 degrees. A 46-degree reduction. His estimated electricity savings, $1,200. In Baltimore, another homeowner painted his roof white in 2023 and measured a 24% reduction in electricity consumption. 24% off his bill for the cost of a bag of powder. Lime does weather. Reapply every 2 to 3 years. For less than $30 every couple of years, you maintain a cooling surface that outperforms a system costing thousands. And there is one more thing lime does. It is naturally antibacterial, antifungal, and a proven fire retardant. It repels wood-boring insects. King John ordered London's houses whitewashed after the Great Fire of 1212. You are not just reflecting heat, you are protecting the structural material of your home with one of the most tested building compounds in human civilization. Now, I need to tell you about a NASA problem from 1959 and a solution that was working perfectly until someone decided it should quietly disappear. In orbit, spacecraft experienced temperature swings of 500 degrees. NASA's solution was a thin metallized reflective foil. By the late 60s, engineers were asking what would happen if this was installed inside a residential attic. The Department of Energy ran formal studies through the 70s and 80s. They called it a radiant barrier. The results were not subtle. Attic temperatures dropped 30 degrees. Air conditioner runtime fell between 40 and 70%. A homeowner in Phoenix installed radiant barrier foil and watched his attic drop from 138 degrees to 104. His air conditioner's daily runtime fell from 4.5 hours to under 2. His July electric bill dropped $187. Total cost, $54. The product is available right now. Search for attic foil or perforated radiant barrier foil. A 500 square foot roll costs $30 to $60. You staple it to the underside of the rafters with the shiny side facing down. Keep an air gap. That makes it work. Overlap every seam by 2 inches. One person can do it in 4 hours. Now here is the part that should genuinely bother you. That fiberglass insulation already in your attic addresses conduction and convection. But radiant energy, the 93% of summer heat, passes straight through fiberglass as if it is not there. You were sold a product that addresses 7% of the problem. In 1991, radiant barrier technology was quietly removed from the major residential construction reference manuals used to train builders. No regulatory body issued a finding against it. No study showed it failed. It was simply not included in the next edition. Every contractor trained on those manuals grew up without knowing it existed. They specified fiberglass because that was what the manual said. They sold HVAC systems because that was the solution they were taught. The insulation industry kept selling fiberglass. The HVAC industry kept selling bigger compressors. And the homeowner kept paying the bill for both. A $54 roll of foil was removed at exactly the moment the industry needed it removed. Now let me give you the science that ties everything together. Your air conditioner removes heat and dumps it outside through the compressor. On a hot day, it is dumping heat into air that is nearly as hot as the heat being removed. A white lime surface does something different. It radiates heat vertically, straight up into the sky. The sky is a remarkable heat sink. The effective radiative temperature sits somewhere between -50 and -70 degrees Fahrenheit. Your air conditioner wrestles with 95-degree air. Your lime-washed roof is radiating heat into a void operating near the temperature of deep space. In 2021, Professor Shulin Ruan at Purdue University pushed this principle to its limit. His team developed a coating that reflects 98.1% of solar radiation. Covering 1,000 square feet of roof generates approximately 10 kilowatts of continuous passive cooling. A standard AC operates at 3 to 5 kilowatts. The passive surface outperforms the machine by a factor of 2 to 3, while consuming zero electricity. You do not need the Purdue formula. The principle is identical to what the Amish have applied for generations. A white surface pointed at the sky. Physics handles the rest. Now combine both treatments. Lime wash on the exterior and radiant barrier foil on the underside of your rafters. Together, they stop nearly the entire radiant heat problem. Total material cost for both, $70 to $90. Total installation time, 1 weekend. Total ongoing electricity cost, $0. I spent decades paying utility companies to solve a problem that a $7 bag of powder and a $50 roll of foil can handle. My builder never told me, my home inspector never told me. The contractor who sold me my last HVAC system for $12,000 never told me. The Amish told me, not with a pamphlet. They told me by living in a cool house in August with no air conditioner, no ductwork, no thermostat, and no cooling bill. The knowledge was never lost. It was set aside, removed from the manual. Buried under industries that collect a payment every month, you remain unaware that a simpler answer exists. The lime is still at the hardware store. The foil is still on the shelf. The sky above your roof is still operating near 60 degrees below zero. Nothing about the physics has changed. The only thing missing was someone willing to lay it all out plainly and tell you. Now you know. If you have put a thermometer in your attic during a July afternoon, drop that number in the comments right now. Your numbers are going to help someone else stop paying a bill they never actually owed. Subscribe if you want to keep following this. Next week, I am going to show you what the Amish do with their water supply that eliminates one of the most expensive appliances. And I am going to show you an internal industry memo from 1987 that proves the manufacturer knew about the problem long before their customers did. You will not want to miss that one.